Chloe Swarbrick.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Prime Minister, e tōtoko ana ia I ngā kōrero me ngā mahi katoa a tōna kāwanatanga.
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Yes, and especially our actions to get our healthcare system focused on patients, not the back office bureaucracy. We're already spending a record amount in health, but last week Minister of Health Simeon Brown announced a range of new actions we're taking to make it easier for Kiwis to see a doctor. We're training more doctors and nurses, we're paying them more, and we're creating more opportunities for them to work in primary care serving the community. And we're putting more funding into GP clinics so they can enrol more patients, and we're introducing a 24/7 digital platform so that Kiwis can see a doctor when they need it. Kiwis deserve timely, quality care and access to healthcare, and we won't stop until we deliver exactly that.
Is homelessness in Auckland increasing or decreasing as a result of his government's decisions?
Well, what I can say is that we're getting more people out of emergency housing, we're taking more people off the social housing wait list, and rents are stable.
Are answers like that why, when I asked the Prime Minister a year ago in this House, he refused to guarantee that nobody would be made homeless by his government's policies?
What I can tell you is that our government is doing everything it can after the legacy that was left by a Greens Labor government that did an appalling job on housing. We are working on making sure we get more houses available for sale. We're making sure that we get rents stable. We're making sure we take people off the house wait list, the social housing wait list that went up 4 times. And we're making sure we get kids out of motels. That's a good thing. I think that member would be wanting to celebrate that.
Can the Prime Minister confirm if every person currently sleeping homeless on the streets of Auckland City are able to get access to housing under his government's policy settings?
They are able to come to the government and actually ask for and get assistance that they need, and we will take anyone's efforts to come and actually get the support that they need.
Is more people sleeping on the street following his government's decisions to tighten access to emergency housing what he means by his growth strategy?
Well, what I can tell the member is there are less people in motels and emergency housing and more... No, they're not. 2,000... Would you like to hear the answer? When we...
Just calm. Just don't barrack through the middle of an answer. You've asked a question, let him answer. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When this government came to office, there was 3,141 households in motels, thanks to the last government. Today, there are 591. We have put more families out of motels and into proper homes where kids should be raised. Almost 2,000 kids now live in houses, not in motels. That is a good thing.
Will the Prime Minister spend just a few hours in Auckland Central to come and meet the people who his government's decisions have made homeless?
I reject the characterisation of the question. The last Greens Labor government made housing worse for all New Zealanders, whether they own a house, whether they rent a house, whether they need a community housing provider or a social house, or whether they're in emergency housing. We are proud that through focus and good management, we have taken 2,000 kids out of motels and put them into proper houses. That's a great thing.
The Honourable Nicola Willis.
Can the Prime Minister tell the House whether the social housing wait list, which is one very clear measure of unmet housing need, has increased or decreased during his term of government? And how does that compare to what happened to that social housing wait list the last time the Greens were anywhere near government?
There's important context. The social housing wait list went from about 6,500, it went up 4 times under the last government. We've taken up to 4,000 to 5,000 from memory out of the social housing list, and they are now off that list. That is a great thing. It means that people who are on the list have a better chance to get a state house or a social house. I just think that member should say we've got work to do, but we're making great progress and we're doing a lot more than what you did in Labor Greens.
Electric blanket.
Can the Prime Minister confirm that Māori do not make up 50% of that wait list?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Can the Prime Minister confirm that Māori no longer make up 50% of that wait list?
Well, what I can say is by virtue of the wait list coming down, by virtue of the 2,000 kids coming out of motels into proper houses, there's less Māori in emergency housing, there's less Māori on the social housing wait list. That's a good thing.